How you doing there, G-Man? Good to have you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. We'll get going here in just a momento. So I wanted to go ahead and just show a couple changes before we do go into it. So what we've done around here at Wake. How is I? Okay, I guess. Busy as always, and it gets continuously busier. The weeks are getting harder as well, so I don't know. Okay, I guess. Christmas isn't that far away, so I'm looking forward to that break. But gotta keep going. So indeed, hope you're doing well, man. So yes, we have redeployed additional zeros to the marshals. So we do have an increase over here, actually, quite noticeably. So there's 27 available right now. 30 will be available in total once these are repaired. But these are available right now. We do have over here 15, total 17 here, but 15 ready there. And over here we have another 16. Now, they do have various functions. They're also going to be escorting. But other little changes. What I'm doing here then is actually transferring... here we are. The second division here is going to be loaded up, and then they're going to head over here to Nowatok. We were going to bring the division down here, but due to the overstack, I decided, well, it's not really worthwhile, because we're already at 15k. We might as well move the troops away from Quadrillane, reduce that overstack, reduce the amount of supply consumption. And so what I've done then is split this force into two. So we have these guys here who have the escort here to unload. These guys are going to unload as well. They're docked. The reason why they're unloading is because it is safer that way. In case something happens, it is safer. But it means that Niwatok will actually be overstacked as well. But Niwatok has 943 men out of 6,000, so we can definitely handle the overstack here to a greater degree than we can at Quadrillane. Plus, it means that these guys can go north. We can have them loaded on appropriate ships rather than APs and AKs that are more high value. So we have that going. We do have a bombardment going in. I had mistakenly thought that we didn't, but we do. We have Kongo here, Kadeshima, and then a number of destroyers going in here to bombard Wake Island this turn. I'm kind of hoping that they are set to retire, by the way, so that's going to hopefully keep us out of trouble. I'm kind of expecting the submarines to move this way, but we'll have to see. It's going to be an interesting one. We do have, obviously, some long-range cap running. Ideally, that goes ahead. So you can see that we have Task Force 27 there, Task Force 27, which is this Task Force here. To protect these guys. What I gained from doing this as well is we do have a light cruiser and 3DDs over here that are sent to actually escort them. So that's what's going on. How you doing there, BGG? Good to have you, my man. So we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the turn as is. So that was, well, what the turn will be. No, not yet. I was just showing, like, just some of the things that we are doing. I had the game open still, so I thought, well, sometimes it's probably better to show people what's going on. But at least it gives more context to the combat resolution when it does in fact happen. How you doing there, BGG? Do hope you're doing well. How you doing there, Parmentier, as well, my friend? Yeah. How you doing there, City Chickens? Yeah, we'll have to. Lady Slippers. He named the term before like Triscuits, so I sent it back named Lady's Fingers. He's a funny guy. He is a funny guy. Okay. Now, hopefully things go well. We do have a redistribution of air power in China. There's no overstack at Hankow anymore, so ideally we should see more coordination available there from Hankow. There's still escort available for them, which is good. We will have a bombardment at Gagayan today, which is going to be very nice. Just have to hope for the best. Now, I do wonder if it's going to move in towards Tawangi. Sorry, not Tawangi. Where is it? Oh, Tulagi, that's it. Yes, we'll see if he moves in towards Tulagi. He's kind of been standing off for a little while, which has been interesting. And we'll have to see. Well, don't see them moving as of yet. So we see the I-172 around here. So we are seeing some task forces around there. So we see one there near Midway, actually. That's the one we previously saw. That one's new. Obviously, there's something out here as well. DM, interesting. Went a little overkill. Very nice. And I can imagine you can see why you should probably take Wake immediately, or as soon as possible. So we have S-35 here then. So the BBs have made it to Wake so far. And that's an intriguing one. I do wonder what that task force is. Very well could be the carriers we shall see. Okay. Right, a light cruiser and some DDs have merged as task force there. They're going to be carrying troops to invade one of the Philippine Islands. Yeah, we do have the CAs and DDs moving towards Sicarian. I don't think they'll arrive this day, but they'll arrive tomorrow for bombardment. Ideally be able to have that coincide with the CLs that are bombarding as well. Okay. 019 being engaged here. Okay. Right, so we do have a bombardment. So Kadoshima opening fire. Okay. So we saw there, was it the 3rd Marine Defense Battalion, which we're aware of. I'm going to allow this to maybe go on for a little while, just so we can get some information. We see 3rd Marine Defense Battalion there again, okay. Actually, I guess we'll speed it up. I guess people don't have all time in the world. As we had the Night of Bombardment there. So it doesn't look tremendously effective, but then again, this is it. It's not going to look tremendously effective. The reason why is I didn't realize that we actually had a bombardment to go through this time. I hadn't actually noticed it. So I set that float plane so I should run the daytime naval surge, which is why they didn't have spotters there. But that's fine. We got the shells in there that have done damage. Ideally, they'd have done enough damage, but any damage is good damage. So we do have the light cruisers over here bombarding at Cagayan. Again, we will have the heavy cruisers coming in shortly thereafter as well. So tomorrow they'll be bombarding. I'm trying to get this done quickly, try and get as much pressure on Cagayan soon. And I think we should be able to take Cagayan with a single division, which we have here then, with sufficient bombardment. We're going to have them return over to this base over here, where we do have 3 AKEs, so they'll be able to rearm, bombard sort of thing. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, what's the diameter of these, like, stacks? How you doing, Ove? Good to have you, my man. Okay. Well, we noticed the task force is just off in Midway. To the, kind of to the west of Midway. Northwest-ish, kind of. Yeah, we'll get Wake, And this is it. Had we really known what to expect with Dadman, then obviously we would have taken Wake a long time ago. But this is it, we learned lessons there. It'll be interesting. It will be interesting to see how Wake goes. I'm certainly confident that we will take it. Obviously, nice to try and do it within the landing window there, the amphibious bonus window. Which I think we will. We do have troops on the way north now. He brought the entire IGN. That's amazing. Oh dear. Yeah, imagine it, imagine it. Okay, so we have our fast transports going ahead here. Here we are. Oh, that's loud. Thank you very much there, for. Not too much as of yet. We bombarded Wake so far. And Cagayan. I kind of wait to see how things turn. No bombardment at Talag as of yet. I wonder if those troops... sorry, I wonder if those ships are actually still waiting. Who knows? We might get a strike out of them. If we're lucky. We should have had a strike yesterday. So I-22 there. So, Leech Realm Font. But as a DD we have seen before, a French one, but excluded and on Wake. It looks like our task force is leaving Wake, so that's good. So I-22 here. Now, we saw a DM in here. So he may be trying to mine Wake Island, perhaps. Which, though, well, we'll soon see there. But we were aware of a task force over here as well. So we'll see what we can find out about that. So we've seen a number of DDs over here then, okay. Yeah, he's obviously mined it. It's been mined previously already, but yeah, he might have sent in additional mines as well. That might be their purpose there. Okay. These things always do make me nervous. I definitely chill out more when we get to the land phase. They're still... Okay, now are we actually going to get a strike out there? It's nice. Allied aircraft out here is interesting. Could be float planes. Allied aircraft immune detected there. Okay. Right. It'd be very nice if we could get a strike down on the CLs near Tulagi, to be honest. I have shifted air power around. So what I've done here in China is I've shifted the Sonoyas and the Idas, I think it is, as well as the Lilies, and one squadron of 18 Sallies. So Hankau is no longer overstacked, which is good. I'm going to be building up this airfield, but until we have it built up, I can't have that much there. Not too familiar with the mechanics of overstack, but I know it's not obviously a good thing there. So what I'm doing now is having these guys fly out from here. They're going to be hitting Changsha's airfield, and then we can start to reduce that. We have the Idas down here at Canton. So they could start to attack these guys over here. It gives us an idea of what we're facing, and then we can start to make some pushes towards Wuchao. Okay, hitting Moresby once again. That's funny. Okay. The last time we saw an aircraft over here was the Empire, I think it was. I don't know. We are shifting naval guard units down here towards the Bismarck Sea area, towards this area here. They're obviously going to be then used to take Moresby. That's actually pretty good then if those runway hits are actually effective. Yeah, okay. So what I'm doing here as well, I was going to have the bombardment on Wenkao, but what I decided to do then, because I don't know what is actually here, we've never actually got proper detection over Wenkao to actually ascertain whether there's actually any troops there. So what I decided to do, rather than keep on bombarding a target that may, it's very unlikely that it wouldn't have a garrison, but we don't know as of yet. So I'm going to try to get the detection level over it, and obviously keep bombing the actual airfield. So the actual BBs and DDs, I've sent them over here to Nagasaki for repairs, and if we don't need them in China, or that sort of area, they can be shifted out, and we can have them go to where they're needed. So they've still got aircraft over here. I'm actually sending 20% of the Sallies over here to bomb Chengdu, the rest are going to be bombing Sining today. I need to eliminate this, and then I can use these Sallies freely then. Seeing a large amount of air power here, but these guys are more or less buggered. There's really nothing else that can be done there. Overstacking isn't too bad, just a bit of fatigue and more supply consumption. Okay. Hey, Dana Katavi, do you mean... Dadman doesn't film his... I don't know if he has any sort of AAR, I don't think he does. You gotta kind of use your imagination for Dadman's point of view. Usually he'd be laughing. Usually he'd be laughing, I'd imagine. Okay. They're still lingering here. I don't know if they've remained in the same position. That's so far so good. Right, we've seen a seagull there. Okay, so obviously that was a float plane. Yeah, we are seeing him move assets towards Wake, which is interesting. He's going to have to bear in mind that Kitapatai is obviously very close to Wake, so any ships that he moves towards Wake can very well be struck at. So that's something we're going to keep into his mind there. I saw like a second task force actually near Tulagi there. That's interesting. We are launching an attack over here at Sining today. Okay. Well, I was hoping they would have one giant raid, but no, that's fine. They do have an actual escort with them. But oh well. That's the only issue when you have lots of squadrons, is like some of them will go in an escort and etc. Still seeing the movements over here. I'll be interested to see if we see anything else move here. Okay, 216. And bomb in Sicarian. Right, here we are. So we have only the 3 sallies, but... Okay. Supply dump, so I was hoping we hit some aircraft. I didn't intend for only 3. We might have some that come in and escorted. But... 20% I don't think is free of that squadron, but... Maybe there's an issue. Who knows? Okay. Oh, whereabouts are you from there, Kagtavi Pony? I like that name. No, you can definitely type better in English than I can in Japanese. So, I'm impressed. Okay. I don't think we've seen any G3s attempted to strike in the south, which is a little bit annoying. Okay, that's strange. We got through that fairly well, actually. We didn't have any mines hit. We got the bombardments. They weren't amazingly effective, but we got the bombardments in. We didn't get hit by a torpedo from a sub. We actually got through that turn pretty good. Okay, that's kind of annoying. Granted, there's only one division and a independent group attacking in a shot. The other 2 divisions had just arrived, but they can attack next turn. I'd like it, obviously, to have been destroyed this turn, but that's okay. So 72nd Chinese Corps will be gone tomorrow. Bombardment over here, then still. I do wonder when he will eventually arrive here. If he does eventually arrive here. I don't know, I still find it weird. I don't know why you do that. I know you're doing pretty amazing, to be honest, my friend. Don't sell yourself short. Okay. Bombardment of Kyanko. Okay. We had another unit of mortars arrive here today as well, so whether they've actually joined in the bombardment. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. He may very well be moving towards this hex here. And if he does, then Godspeed. I just can't... I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, I see. That's cool. That's cool. No, you're doing really well, man. You're doing really, really well. Hand on heart, I am impressed. I've got this coffee in my hand, and I'm looking very much forward to drinking this coffee, but I always find it hard to drink the coffee during the turns, because I'm like, oh god, what happens if something goes wrong? Okay, 320. We are seeing a fairly high amount of casualties being caused by the bombardments here. He may very well have units in movement mode. It's hard to really, I don't know, it's hard to... I can't really fathom what he's trying to do here. It's going to be a case of we just have to see how it ends up in the end, really. That's a fairly strong call for the most part. Obviously going to take some time to get through it, but we have that time. Just got to reduce the fortifications. Obviously I do have the bombers. I'll have the bombers obviously attack the airfield as well, so we're down to 1 fortification. Losses on our end. Actually, really nowhere near that bad. I expected much worse there from seeing that AV drop. Not that bad, not that bad. Reduce it down to level 1 fortifications, which is good. He suffers a little bit more than... Well, not really. He has some destroyed. In terms of numbers, we suffer a little bit more, but that's actually not bad. That's not bad, actually. I'll have to bomb the cities airfield then stop any fortification. We do have our little bit of attack over here. No, China is probably not far from falling, really. Ah, there we go, we captured that base. Excellent. There we go, and they surrender now. Oh, that's beautiful there. Yep, they surrender, and... Oh, wow, okay. I can't believe it worked. Normally would have had them retreat in some ungodly direction, but there we go, that's 1,209 captives there. We have our bombardment over here at Surabaya. You can see this force over here has been slowly taking some damage. Yeah, it should fall soon enough. I think we're not too far out from having the tanks actually arrive over here. It will be another day before the rest of the troops arrive here at Surabaya, so I'll probably wait until I have the tanks here as well, but we'll have a good amount of AV, maybe about 1,000 or so AV to take Surabaya then. Yeah, the Dutch never do that. Oh dear. Yeah, I mean, this is it. It's... The way Danman's played China is very odd. The way he's played the ground game is very odd. He's not daft, he knows how to play it, but I think sometimes he just chooses not to play it, and it's really hard to figure that one out. Wish there was some surrender mechanics, just retreat to jungles. Yeah, and it really is, and it's really annoying as well, especially, like as in Burma, further in Avoca's point there, especially in Burma, where there's not perfect roads, we had units retreat, and they retreated essentially 2 hexes away because of how the roads went. I'll show that one shortly, but it's really annoying. The retreat mechanic is kinda... You can gain like a good couple turns worth of movement in a single turn, and it's kind of annoying like that. Okay, we might have the entirety of Sumatra under our control here. Barring troops over here and troops around here. Yep, they surrender as well. Excellent. That's good news. It means I can have those troops moved out, picked up and moved to deal with these guys, ultimately reform that division in the future. There are these islands over here on the coast I need to take. Well, off the coast I do need to take, but that's good. So 396 there. That unit is destroyed. We do have our shock attack against this unit over here, the 221 group and the Burma Corps. They'll probably survive. Yeah, oh fucking course. Oh no, only 11 casualties, wow, okay. Like, okay. Okay, sure. Beganber, Tarawa. Hong Kong. Yeah, the Allies do have some pretty good intelligence, which is nice. Okay, well, that was actually a good turn all round. I don't think we suffered really any losses there, which is a rare day indeed. That's a rare day. I'm fairly happy with that. It's not often we actually have something go really without much in the way of problem. So I'm quite happy about that. I'll go ahead and make our save here and open it up. And see how we are. Yeah, the good news is we do have troops moving towards Wake now, so we'll be able to land there shortly enough. It's a little disconcerting seeing ships and task forces around that area, but at the end of the day we do have Gitabatai. The only real threat would be his own carrier group. So we'll take it. I mean, obviously there's surface threat. He could obviously send in surface raiders, which is obviously difficulty. Yeah, I know. And the bombardment at Wake, it wasn't tremendously effective. And the reason for that is I hadn't realised that we were bombarding Wake. That was my point. That was my fault. So I'd set the actual ships that were in the bombardment. I'd set their float planes to actually just run the normal naval search because I didn't realise there was one going on until after I'd sent the turn, which is my bad. But we had the bombardment. It said... whereabouts are we? There we are. So it doesn't look tremendously effective, but we do see, obviously, damage inflicted, which is still good news. Obviously, we never know if these numbers are exactly accurate. But having any damage inflicted is good. Would have been nice, obviously, taking out more damage here. Doesn't look to have been that great, but that's fine. We can also go back and... Oh, hello. Okay, so we are seeing... Okay, ship sighted there. So we know there's quite a number of... That's actually rather interesting. He really hadn't changed the position of his submarines over here overly much, which is actually really good news. I know KB is spotted. I know KB is actually not spotted right now, but obviously other task forces in that area are. Okay. That's pretty interesting then. Yeah, there's plenty of DDs around here. And we saw task force out here as well. We are spreading out these submarines over here to cover a wide area of the Pacific, just to really try and get an idea of where he's going to be moving and what's going to be in that area. So they'll come in handy. Right, we'll take a look at that right now, therefore. That's interesting. I seem to have lost some score somewhere. Top C is a Lily. B5, a 0 there, sadly. I don't know what that one is. A Bolingbroke. I'm not too familiar with that one. And an SB3. Okay. Oh, was I at 17,000? I might not have been at 17,000 and confused it. I don't think I was. No, was I? I can't recall, actually. Last turn, we don't see any ships sunk, as far as I'm aware. Okay. But we are aware of task forces around here. But we managed to make it in here without being hit by mines, which is good. Okay, yeah, we do see a second force down here. Interesting. It's kind of annoying. I was hoping we might have had to strike out there from Shortlands, but unfortunately not. We did have one that was attempted yesterday, but it didn't go through. Due to weather, really. My game, I find to bring a Japanese submarines around Pearl Harbor. The stake is primarily on aviation. For several groups. Okay. These, okay, through search, pilot skills of an average. Okay. Okay, interesting. Yeah, you've got to train your pilots, and they'll eventually get better at it. Yeah, so he's remained in the same position. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I do have a second submarine heading down this way as well. That is equipped with a float plane, so we'll see. Very interesting indeed. Okay. Continue to build up Jakarta Bay. Continue to build up Shortlands as well, actually. I mean, there are more available now. Well, there will soon be more available. Just waiting for the number of them to repair. Yeah, obviously more support is required here. Which is why they're obviously not repairing very well. But that's okay. As long as they can fly, that's okay. One there that can be shifted, okay. I'd like to bombard Cairns one down. So we did have our submarine over here that was damaged yesterday. But she'll head back. Okay. Oh, I forgot to send these fellows back, actually. That's my bad, I forgot about that. Oh dear. Well, they had another day to patrol then, didn't they? Rightio. I'd have to double check where we could rearm. We may be able to rearm at the size 4 port over here. Though saying that, I'll have to double check if we can rearm. We used to have an AKE over here. Is it over here now? Ah, yes, there we are. It's over there at Loblin. Okay. So they can retire to Loblin. That's fine. And retire back there to Loblin. Unload and supply here. These two over here can be sent back to pick up additional supply. But we are making progress over here now, quite nicely. Decent amount of engineers. And a good number of vehicles as well. Having those vehicles over there makes a pretty big difference. So that's going to be built up pretty nicely. And it can be a quite nice large airfield, so that's quite good. Whether or not we build it up to size 4, I'm not too sure. Maybe, maybe not. Probably not. It could be a good indicator that my planes began to see a few submarines at a greater distance from Pearl Harbor itself. Well, the way it works with ASW, if you're in fact used in that mode of search, is they only fly about half their range. So you might have been able to pick up on submarines with naval search because they fly their full range. It's unlikely that you could pick them up, but if you did, then that's good. But if you switched over to ASW and you're suddenly not seeing them, then it's an interesting one. I'd have to see what your settings were. You can, of course, still miss submarines. It's like we don't always detect every one of them. So you've got to bear that in mind, really. I always take everything with a pinch of salt and try to apply, like, rational arguments, I suppose you could say. Okay, so CA's over there, so they'll be in there to bombard. Okay. They can head over here to rearm. Super amount of damage, but that's okay. It'll increase over time. And it's something that we can keep on doing anyway. It looks like that unit that was moving from here arrived here as well, so that's good news. At least we get to bombard them all at the same time. I have begun to land a unit over here. I did consider having it moved here, but I thought, well, that's okay. I think with the light bombers I only need a size 1 airfield. And I could probably do with building this one up somewhat. I'll build it up to size 2. Could be quite handy. It's a ×3 jungle rough one there. But then again, I'll double check. If I can fly light bombers from a size 1 airfield offensive missions, then that's good. If not, I'll have them loaded up and shifted down to size 2. But I'll have to double check that. Okay, and there. And we have the AKEs over here then. So they can be disbanded in here. And there we are. So we have them good to go. They can rearm our bombardments and we'll bombard the living hell out of Sicarian. I do have... Why have they loaded up so much supply? Those bloody fools. I really dearly wish you could tell them, do not load more than this much supply. That's rather irritating. I'm going to have to unload some of that supply. It's annoying. That's rather annoying. Yeah, but okay. It'll not take that long to unload. It is just annoying though. What a wind up. I'm going to have them move down here then. Once we've unloaded that ridiculous amount of supply, have a more rational amount, then obviously we can have them shifted down here. They're going to land here, then move up the island here. I do wish there was a button to tell them, load this much supply, do not load any more after that. That'd be nice. It would make it far easier as well to organise landings. Bloody hell. Okay. Secondary road over there. There's quite a lot of resources there. That's actually quite nice. We captured 79 resource centres there. Quite happy about that. Okay. I do wish there was a rail line that connects it. I just decided whether or not to have a march. I'll have them moved over here so I can use the troops to take these islands off the coast then. It's a march to Padang. Those fellows. I could have them march this way, but we'll see. Or I could have them march this way. Though in fairness, it may just be easier just to get them moved there. It's a long time to travel, really, isn't it? Via all that secondary road. I mean, I don't have to do so, but I'll have the option either way. Can you limit the amount of supply? It's just one of those. It's like, you can tell them not to load supply and load troops only, and sometimes they'll still load a little bit of supply. It's just, it's one of those things that really would be great to have a mechanic for it, but it's okay. Right, load and fuel there. Right, so all those troops arrived here. And I should have left a unit here, but I forgot about that. But actually, no, that's fine, actually. Because we control this hex side, we control this hex side. What I'm doing here is actually moving the 14th Tank Regiment here. And the reason being to actually secure this hex side. This 3rd RCA Division is moving here. If I could get a unit here, and I think I should be able to do that. It'll take a little bit of time, but I think it's definitely worthwhile doing. And if I recall, we do have an armoured unit. They're still being loaded up over here. Right, okay. A couple there, then they'll begin moving. How you doing there, Julebert? Good to have you, my friend. Yeah, what I want to do is get a unit to here, and then we'll be good. What can I do? What can I do with that? How can I do that? March that way and there. They'll probably be there. Yeah, they'll be there next turn. Excellent day. Hey, didn't that just? Turn went fine. We had nothing go wrong, actually, which is nice. Hey, didn't that, Mike? Good to have you. At the moment, you want to give general battle to the Kid of a Tide, to the... small is yours, Philippines too. I don't know what you mean. The Philippines has already won, essentially. We just need to round this up. We have a division here to take a guy, so that'll be one soon enough. Regarding Kid of a Tide giving battle to the Americans, would love to. Would love to. But I don't want to do it on his terms. Alright, we do have our DMSs over here. So if that was a task force that bombarded, oh, they didn't use that much. Well, actually, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, they do have a fair amount of ammunition there. So they're retiring that way. Okay. But, yeah. They made it in, and they made it out, which is really good. 20k seems to be fine. Would have liked to have had a little bit more damage there, but that's okay. These guys are escorted over here, as we discussed. That's good. We also do have additional zeros here at Watch J as well, and over here too. So we do have additional zeros all around, which is very nice. Okay. We did see a task force up around this area, but we didn't get much in the way of information on it. But we saw there was a task force out here. So that's interesting. In which case it would be about 20 something hexes away, if it is indeed the carriers. We'll see. I mean, if I could engage him, if we could engage him out here, then that's okay. I wouldn't mind that too much, because he's outside support really from midway. He could potentially have like spotting, but there's not all that much we can do about that. But he doesn't have any ground-based aircraft support. I'd prefer him to come this way, because we obviously do have immunity to resist him out here. And I'd love to be able to inflict losses on him while doing it from a position that cannot be sunk, but we'll see. Fuel is moving towards the area, so we do have that there. It's good supply as well, in all amounts. So Tongi had some additional supply delivered. There is additional supply on its way too. Ideally makes it. I'd like to get enough supply here at Tongi so we do not have to worry about that, because I do not... we'll see. But we know from looking at this fence, we can see that there's cruisers in that area. Now, beyond this sort of... There's a point at which we really lose... they have about a range of 8-ish. So it's kind of beyond this point, we don't have great information on the subs, but we can see roughly what's going on here. So he's kind of looked at this. Okay. Right, moving those assets out. Still unloading a little bit of fuel here as well at Quadrillane. Having fuel around here is going to be really excellent. Obviously, it just keeps us in the game longer. He's going to be aware of the carriers. He's obviously well aware of the carriers being around here. Well, he was aware of the carriers here. He may have moved subs to this area, expect us to go in. But he's aware of carriers. It doesn't have detection on Kidappatai this turn, but he's no doubt going to be aware that Kidappatai is in the area. He's not daft. It's the same thing as, like, we'll generally know which will be his task force. Even if we don't have, like, direct sighting, we'll generally be able to figure it out. Okay. These fellows will arrive tomorrow then. Yep, so they can go to combat mode. 29 preparation left, Sorabaya. And then finish that up. These guys over here, they should be rested enough now. Still, fatigue and disruption is probably okay. We'll go for a shock attack there. What I can do here then is take the time of the 2 DDs. I'm not too sure if I don't think there's anything that could really resist us. I don't think there's coastal guns here. I'd have to double check if there is coastal guns there. I don't think there is. But I can't call this moment in time. But there's unlikely to be coastal guns there. And if somebody could actually do me a massive favour and check, that'd be brilliant. But I don't think there is, but I could be wrong. You mean a fight on our time? Like, right. Well, I mean, that's it, yeah. But in fairness, therefore, had we had that warning, had we known that he was coming to Japan, we really would have been able to rip him a new one, to be honest. We would have been able to give him a hell of a pasting, to be fair. We just didn't know. Well, no, but that's the thing there, just. It's like, well, we haven't lost 5 CVs, it's actually, is it 5? I think it's 4. It might 5, 4 or 5, whatever. Could be 5. I don't know. But the thing is there, just, we could be like, okay, we're going to go fight the Americans, and then we head towards Midway, and then we get a battle in Midway. But then we have it turn against us, and it's like, well, okay, then we've lost the Kidappatai, and it's like, we don't want to do these asinine things, we don't want to do these ridiculous things like, oh, we're just going to go do it. We need to have a battle on our terms. Oh, 3 CVLs and 2 CVs, yeah, so it's 5 there. But so what? It sucks, but so what? Japan loses a vast majority of her navy, she loses a vast majority of her possessions, and she still continues to fight, so shall we. You're French, so c'est la vie. You'll be able to get that one, I'm sure. That's why I don't like to talk about the carriers too much, because too much focus. They're obviously great weapons of war, but this is a thing. It's like, well, we have to take it as it comes. Our reality is not the reality that we choose it to be, but it is what it is the reality that is. Okay, they're headed down there. That's good. Take that base on soon enough. And then I can move on to taking these over here, and I'll take that one then. These fellas are moving. Divisions are moving out shortly. They're taking longer than I imagined, actually. I know it's secondary road, but goddamn. That 4th artillery will be moving out soon enough. I'll have that shifted out here, actually. How long before the next turn? I don't know. It depends, really. Obviously, I've got a hell of a lot on in the week due to... Well, I've always got a lot on Japanese, so we'll just have to see how it goes, really. Ideally not as long, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, well, as Fall says there. Oh, there we go. We actually had... I shifted Dina so we could actually run reconnaissance over Calcutta. Okay. That's important information to have there. So do see concentration. Because if we're actually... Okay. We'll have to run reconnaissance on these guys over here. The reason why I didn't do it this time is because I forgot to break them up before I sent them out there. And then we had one that was left behind. But I can actually split them up this turn now. That's good. So we'll have that move to Magway. And I can then take this. Divide that. So they can do Calcutta. I'll have Chittagong. I don't know about Chittagong. It's got a big port. We'll run reconnaissance on all the bases along the area. Along that area, sorry. It's worthwhile to obviously be sure of what's going on. Cox is bizarre. There's no airfield there, but obviously we'll just keep on moving the reconnaissance further north. And Yeah, there's more than enough AV for Wake Parmentier. There's more than enough. Obviously, it'll take time to get there, but there is going to be enough. Okay. Well, we're not going to hit Calcutta now. I mean, there's like 50 odd fighters there. Obviously, there will be hurricanes in that, more than likely. We're not going to be hitting that. It'd be nice to, but not right now. Maybe in the future. But the reason why we're running reconnaissance is obviously to get an idea of what's going on over here in India. And sort of to identify where his build-ups are, what he's doing essentially, and then see what plans can be made there. Still seeing the one unit. Maybe he's just shifting like one unit here, maybe one unit here, just to control those hex sides. Because that'd make more sense. That'd be moving out a small amount of men. Because he's moved a unit here. He might be moving another unit to cover this crossroads and just try to cover this area here. But even, I mean, that's very much likely a destroyed unit or something else. So, I don't know. But even then, we'll see. I don't think he'd abandon Kienko. I just can't see why you would do that. But we'll see soon enough, I guess. Or we'll just not give him the option. Alright, so we do have additional mortars that have arrived there, which is good. The good news is we do have additional tank regiments on the way. We do have additional troops on the way. We'll soon have another division, 2 divisions essentially. Yeah, armor, artillery. How long before you do a DA in the city? A DA? I don't know what a DA is. Oh, direct attack. Direct attack. Okay, I get you now. Soon enough. Soon enough. Airfield damage. I'd like to be able to have continuous bombardment of the airfield. But I think if I'm going to go for a deliberate attack, I might as well wait for the... Well, I don't know. Is it worthwhile waiting? Yes and no. Yes and no. In some ways, I'm kind of curious to see what he does with these troops over here, really. But soon. The answer's really quite soon. Okay, they're all rested and good to go. It's ×2 terrain. What is it? Wooded or something like that? I forget what it is now. Oh, rough terrain. This is ×2. I wish it was clear. This area's all clear. That's like a mountain there. Doesn't look like it, but yeah, that's mountain. That's rough. That's urban light. But then all this area is clear. Chungking, fortunately, is urban light rather than urban heavy, so that makes it far easier. It does have fortifications, though, if I'm aware. Okay. Should have a tank regiment over here now. Yes, we have tankers over here. So 458 AV. I am increasing the amount of AV here. I'm going to begin to make a push over here soon enough. Having those bombers does help as well. Do I have... Okay, we've got... Right, what do you guys think here? There's 7 out of 8 detection on Wenkao. And we don't see a unit there. Is Wenkao empty? There's a possibility at this time that Wenkao is in fact empty. And I may have bombarded Wenkao without knowing that. But that's fine. Any damage there is okay. It's one of those, isn't it? But if it's empty, okay, we can move in there and take it. There's still likely mines, I'd imagine. I don't know if there's any coastal guns, but I'd imagine we'd have seen a unit. 7 out of 8's interesting. It's really quite interesting. If we could take that, I'd be quite happy, because there's quite a lot of light industry there that I'd like to take. Having that heavy would have been nice, but well. And I do have a unit that can be shifted out there, but that's good information to have. I'm glad I didn't bombard it this turn, then. It just seemed odd. I was just thinking, it's kind of odd that I've not seen any like troops or anything like that. But oh well. Ah, here we are. Excellent. Has it moved today? Yes, there we are. Okay, so you can see here that we do have control of this southern hex side now, which at long last is really, really, really freaking good for us to have. Really glad to have that. Okay. Really very important. Or at least the garrison is smaller than... possibly. How you doing there, Alex? Ah, good to have you, my man. Yeah. And it's actually a good turn, which is nice. Doesn't often happen, so that's cool. Right. The 6th Division is going to be so very important shortly. I don't think that China has any CD guns. That's fair enough. That's good to know. I assume there's mines. But we'll see. We can organize a landing force. Whether it lands here. And in fairness, what I could do is I could land on the coast over here. There's no risk by landing there on the coast. Maybe a few losses on the unloading process at this moment in time. If we can get them there before the unloading bonus, then we should be okay. But I could even load them there, unload them there. I could even have them march from here to Wenkao, which maybe we do that. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll take it by ear then, really. Yeah, you'd think so. You'd think so. But if it's empty, then that's good news. That's very good news. It's worth... Not worth a huge amount to us, but it's worth more to us than it is to him once we've taken it. Because that denies him... Well, it's worth more to him because he needs that supply there. If he loses that supply, that's going to suck. And frankly, if he loses that city there, there's no production in this area. He's kind of buggered then. Eventually, he will run out. And we are making good progress around here, too. Ah, really interesting right now. I guess we'll see. At Wenkao, there's no troop losses, which is something that did make me wonder. Any significant minefield would have decayed around in mine lives, which is a good point there. Which is a good point. He would have had to use submarine mines. Possibly so. Possibly so. It's going to take us some time to organise a landing force anyway. I think I may just land them there, just on the off chance that it's mined or something of that nature. We could go in there. I don't want to take any losses. And if we can do this without taking losses, then that's fine. I think I'll just land here. It's it's major road, so it only take them 2 days to march in here anyway. So I think that's the risk-free option. Plus, if we landed troops there, we'd be likely to be able to find out if we had troops here by their reconnaissance value. But it seems like there's no troops here so far. Oh, paratroopers actually. Paratroopers actually not a bad consideration. I didn't actually consider that there for a second, but we do have the transports. Maybe we do use transports. Sorry, maybe we do use paratroopers, which would actually be really quite convenient. I'll bear that in mind. I will bear that in mind. That's a good point made there, actually. Right, so I do have my armoured cars here now. Okay, I'd love to get more information here, but I cannot wait until we get into this area. The reason why I have these armoured cars here is really just to cut this road and rail. So he can't pull out anyway. But just to try and inhibit him. There's a unit moving over here as well, shortly enough. Right, they can move there. Actually, take that back. They can try to move there. I just want to make sure we have this area covered. Yeah, so we have these guys here now. So what I can do then is place everybody into the combat mode. I'll just tell them to go into the same combat mode as the 39th. So shock, shock, shock. There we are. So this will destroy them. That should be good. And what I'll do then is actually have that AV. I'll have it really march straight over here. It's going to take a little time due to the secondary roads. But we'll have them march this way. And then once I've got the 6th Division over here, what I'll be able to do then is actually break off the detachment and have it march into Changsha. And then I can control that hex side. And then what I can do is actually march into Changsha and then march down here. And then from this point here, I can launch attacks across the river. And then there's not much you can do at that point. We'll have essentially taken the area. If he doesn't pull out, then he's doomed. Can you move the 2 divisions to the southwest of China that rest of the few days? Yep, they're going to be moved. That's what's going to be going on. I put them together and forgot to send them out. So they're good to go this turn. So they're going to march over this way. That was a full intention. I just forgot to carry out that. Yeah, so they're going to move this way, and then we're going to be obviously defeating these troops, defeat those troops, and then we'll move on to Kuei Lin. Take Kuei Lin, that takes away more resources, takes away more industry away from him, which is good, and gives it to us, which is handy to have. There is a garrison requirement, but I think what I'll do at that point then is just shift over some paratroopers to act as a garrison until I can get something else out there, which is easy enough. And it's not a bad usage of paratroopers for that point. We do have 2 paratrooper units in Canton, so we do have options there, which is quite nice. Okay, and we are, yeah, we'll be in Urumqi tomorrow. And they made some very good progress there. So yes, we'll be at Urumqi tomorrow then, and then the day after we can attack. Coolio. They didn't do bad there at all, actually. Again, I don't know what the AA is at sitting. So I am veering towards 11k just to make sure. Alright. For a little bit more on it. Well, China's weaker because we were allowed to actually use the Kwantung Army. And we've had a lot of fortuitous events in China because Dadman just... he hasn't played it as we would have expected. He has started to play it more now, but it's a real tough one to fathom. It's one of those I've never quite been able to come up with like a proper... like a real explanation, and it's one of those where I'd have to ask him one day, like, okay, so what was the goal here? What did you try to do? And he'll probably just say, well, I just didn't have that much time, and it was just quicker to do it this way. I mean, he has played many times over the years, so maybe he's just like, well, c'est la vie. What happens is what's going to happen. That's a good point, therefore. We could do that. Once we do own the base, I can transfer troops, more or less. I think they have to be of the same headquarters or unrestricted headquarters, so we'd have to double check on that one. I think it's an unrestricted base, and I think you can transfer to it with no issue, but I have to double check that. Okay. Yeah. So I sent these guys over here to Nagasaki. I'm glad I didn't bombard Wankawa again. At least we do have information here to actually say that it may very well be worthwhile to move in there. It does make me wonder where those troops are, though. It does make me wonder. How restricted HQ it must be. Yeah. I would have to double check to see if that's how it works, but probably so. It doesn't look to me moving these troops anymore, unless we just don't know about them. But he did have a unit that was here, I'm sure, or something of that nature. Okay. Yeah, it'd be nice to build an airfield. Sorry, it'd be nice to build a railroad. Same problem. Oh, right, okay. More restricted. Okay, cool. Okay. Now we're looking pretty good then, actually. Things went pretty positively. I'm quite happy about. Yeah. Nothing particularly huge this turn, but nothing bad either. Where are the BBs that aren't with KB at the moment? There's Haruna over there. There is oh, what's her name now? Issei over here being repaired. She's not that far from being repaired as well. 35 days there. As far as it goes, I think every other BB is in that area with her then, with the KB. Yeah. She's in Hong Kong. There we are. This is it. Like, the China in this game is... it's one that you can't really compare with other games. I didn't expect China to go like this in this game. Never expected from the start. So there's not much that can be really said. You've got to kind of look at the China of this game in a vacuum, really. I didn't know, Gary. Good to have you, my man. You got to kind of look at it in a vacuum. But we're looking pretty good. Again, the resources moved, which is excellent. Yeah, we had access to the Kwantung army as well, which normally house rules do prohibit. He allowed us that. I don't know. It's an interesting one. It does make me wonder. I don't know. It's very hard to figure out what his game plan has been in China from the start. To be honest, it's very hard. It doesn't make it easy to fathom. I really do want to see when those troops move. Eventually, they have got to arrive. 40th is moving out there. Shanghai. Well, I'll have them make it to Hankow and then rail them down to Shanghai. The Kiev-free. Take a look at that. I think we have one over here that can... yeah, that one can be transferred there. So I'm going to make a save here. Yeah, I mean, this is it. The game does well, but it's definitely not perfect. But then this is it. It's pretty good for what it is. Oh, right, okay. If you join my Discord and type out the question, then I can probably give like an answer. I'm not entirely sure what the question is as such. Indeed. Okay. So, it goes to, I believe it goes to the A6 and 5. Or does it go to 5B? I forget which one it is. Gary's in the chat, so which one is it, Gary? Do I go to the A6 and 5, then the B, and then the C? And then the 8? Let's wait for him to chat. A6 and 5 first, yeah. Okay. I've saved it anyway, so we're okay. A6 and 5, keeps up, yeah. A6 and 5B. A6 and 5C. A6 and 8, I think it is. I can check it myself, but I am lazy. Then A6 and 8. There we are. Cool. And there we are. 79% there. You expect too much of Oaken. But thank you. I appreciate the I appreciate the idea. 2 more over there until we fully repair. Do we have any other 6s? Not as of yet. That one seems to be doing fairly well there at Kyoto. Well, it's like a Kyoto plant. Making that progress. Okay. Have a read through this then, shall we? Christmas Island. Interesting. Sydney there, size 9, okay. That's good to see. Ah, cool. Plenty going on over there at Pearl Harbor and Perth. We might actually have some information at Pearl. Okay, well, we're aware there's submarines out there. It'd be nice if it said something like crazy, like, oh, here be dragons or something. No, Josh, that's completely wrong, man. I mean, that was a false narrative from the start. You don't have to march into the center of a city and say, right, okay, this is ours now. There's many different ways that control can be established in the area. You don't even have to potentially set foot within the city itself to have quote-unquote control of the area. It's the same sort of idea of like when you have like, let's say like banditry or partisans that control the countryside or control certain areas. This is it. It's one of those things where it's not a zero-sum game, and that very annoys me. Thanks very much, Gary. I shall spend those bits at your go-go dancing classes. Somebody's got to encourage you. Okay. No, I'm just looking over the turn here. Not super amount to be done, in fairness. We do have our troops over here now, and it really is up to us if we decide to attack or not. I could potentially bombard with the artillery. That's not artillery, that's an RF gun battalion. I wish it was independent artillery, but it is not. Aye. Okay. What to do from this point then? I didn't think we'd actually get to the point where we actually had the troops on top of him, but here we do, we actually do, so that's cool. I just want to try to make sure we can control the hex side. So they'll be there next turn. They may arrive here tomorrow. I'd have just this hex over here that was open and bare. If I could get a unit in here, that'd be great. But I'm not too sure if I wait that long. We'll see. I could go for a shock attack against this unit over here and probably win. Ayak. You've got a hard on for that city, haven't you, just? We'll take the cities when we get the chance. But bear in mind that this one is far harder for us to look after and defend than it is for him. He obviously has a road over here, and he could also use that against us. I don't think he has a huge amount of assets in this area, but we'll see. Yes, as Avocan says there, we inflicted 320 casualties through bombardment. Not a huge deal. We'll see. We'll likely go with a deliberate attack at some point in the near future, really. I think for the most part, it depends. We do have these troops, we do have additional armor units that are moving on here. It wouldn't be a bad thing to wait for them, but it's of course a case of like how much time do we have there. I don't like the direction they're going now. It looks like they're marching direct. They've only moved 5 miles now. Kind of looks like they're going direct because they should be heading there and then here. Maybe it is quicker for them to go that way. Maybe. I mean, it's mountain. Oh, it's kind of in the way. Mountain. So troops, infantry march 3 miles a day. I'd have to look and see which was actually faster. But it looks like they're marching straight. We'll see, because it's probably likely going to be a while before they do arrive over here. We know the armor's coming, which is good. We'll see. We'll see. Likely they're gonna. Likely it's gonna be very soon. Likely it's gonna be very soon. It depends, really. It's one of those. Japan can kind of win battles at sea. You can kind of win at sea. I mean, it can be done. But you kind of have to rely upon either a good deal of luck and that being combined with the allied player making mistakes or something of that nature. It is possible. Anything's technically possible. Right. Yeah, you can get jets, but good luck getting them. Good luck. Oh dear. I think we're looking pretty good. I do have these APs over here. They're going to ultimately be heading out this way, but I figured, well, might as well have them made use of and pick up fuel from Marie, have it moved out. Yeah, and short range as well. Oh, we're looking pretty good. So we're going to have a shock attack event tomorrow. Do need to double check that. I don't think there is, so I can go ahead and go for that, I'd imagine. Just that disruption and fatigue would be nice to have. That should go for a bit high. We're not that far away from the Armored Zero. We'll probably arrive at the end of the year. End of the year, early next year, something around that sort of time frame there, really. Helen's been making progress. But it'll arrive soon enough anyway. I'm looking forward to having the armoured Helen. I don't know. We'll have to see how it turns out. It's an interesting one. How to get on Japanese armour. We'll see. Obviously, a division would be more powerful than the individual parts, but I guess we'll just have to see what the situation's like at some time before they arrive. So yeah, it's just a case of seeing how it comes, really. Okay, I think we are pretty much good to go here. There's not much that can be said. It was a pretty good turn. No issues really, so pretty good. We've checked a few times before they adjust. It's going to be some time yet. You'll know. You'll know when they arrive. You'll know. I can guarantee you'll know. Alright. I do have a air HQ moving up over this way. They should not have continued to load supply. But that's fine. I may leave one behind perhaps, but I don't think I need to. No, still plenty enough supply. There's no supply required here. There's enough move, so that's okay. Yeah, hopefully soon. Looking good. Again, I mean, that's interesting. Maybe he's going for a large bombardment, but I'm not too sure. It looks like he's got what might be like an ASW task force there. But I don't know. It's kind of weird that he's still there. It would have been nice to see a strike out there, but it's odd. It's certainly odd. He's waiting for something. I mean, maybe we just send our submarines in there, but I'm not too sure. We'll soon see. Right. I'm looking forward to that bombardment tomorrow. Okay. Now, looking good. Yeah, sure. I'll take a look at that then. And then we'll call it there. And then I have to get on with my Japanese work. Right. Ship's arrival then we'll start with. Okay. Junior in 41 days. On Junior. "66 days until we have Yamato. Can't wait. She's gonna be fun. Cannot wait." I don't know how much we'll be able to do with her, but I'm looking forward to having her. It'll be a great deal of naval shipyard load taken off that we can use elsewhere then. Is there a promise that a production of powerful engines for Japan by the middle of 43? Obviously certain engines you do have to R&D, I do believe, but I mean there's no particular reason why you can't do that. Obviously you only have a limited amount of facilities, so you kind of have to plan things out, but as far as I can say, there's probably no real issue. I mean, this game, we've been able to do a lot of different things because we haven't invested in any industry in Japan, which I still think is the right decision in fairness, but it depends. Yeah, and as you say there, Gary pointed that one out to me the other day, actually. Had I known about that one, I would have been accelerating that one much sooner, but then it's only available at a certain point. It's accelerated now, but yeah, looking forward to having this bad boy because it does come with that radar, so that's pretty awesome. It normally arrives the 25th of March, 43, but it's going to be accelerated for some time, so we'll have it soon enough. I mean, it's not that far away, really. And we're in 42 now. We might be able to get it maybe late 42 or something like that. I guess we'll see. We'll see. Not that far away. Yeah. That'll be fun. Aircraft, sorry. Oops, not that one. Good reinforcement, there we are. So, 2 days we'll have another couple Key 27s. More zeros over here, which is nice. In Chiba, I mean, that's going to be quite nice to have a Genzen KUS squadron. Another 27 would be quite nice there. Aces and 2 roofies. I'm looking forward to having the roofies, actually. That'd be quite fun. I'm not too sure what we'll really do with them. But they're a nice little thing to have, I guess. I mean, they do have a cannon. Yeah, I mean, this is it. They're useful, but yeah, it's just trying to figure out really what you want to do with them. Then we have more zeros there. So we are getting some nice stuff. Like, having those Emily's would be nice. Indeed. That's a nice big squadron of H6K4s there. And arriving at Quadraline. Wow, that's nice. Convenient. Oh, is that so? Is that a scar? Alright, we'll take a look at the land schedule. 2 days we'll have some more engineers. 6 days, yeah. 8 days, yeah. So more of these bad boys. The weight cost of gun battalion is going to obviously be waiting a little while, but that's okay. A little annoying, but we'll get there. What's in here? Oh, okay. But there we are. So, thank you very much for watching there, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's been fun. We actually had a good turn for the most part, which is something that rarely happens where we have things just go more or less completely in our favour, but they have thus far, so that's good. Should have that taken care of, and then we can march this way to Changsha. I really do not think it's long before we take Changsha. We'll try to expedite that as much as we can. Let's see. 3 units out there. Aye. There we are. So, until next time, thank you for watching, and I shall see you in the future. So, it's not quite that time, but I'll just say sayonara. So, sayonara. Do follow me on Discord. Well, do join the Discord. That's always a great place to discuss. And if you feel I've earned it, then perhaps become a Twitch Prime subscriber here on Twitch. Much appreciated. Until next time, goodbye for now. Have a beautiful evening and even better day, really.